Have you ever walked into your living room, looked around, and felt like something was just off, but you couldn't quite explain what it was? The furniture is nice. The colors work. You've spent time picking things out. And yet the space doesn't feel finished. It doesn't feel grounded. It almost feels like everything is slightly floating. What if I told you that in most American homes that feeling comes down to one single mistake? And it's sitting right under your feet. Because here's something most people don't realize. The number one rug mistake isn't the color, the pattern, or even the material. It's the size. And not just slightly off, dramatically too small. In fact, recent home design surveys and retail data show that a majority of homeowners tend to buy rugs that are 1 to 2 sizes smaller than what designers recommend for their space. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. So the real question becomes, why does something as simple as rug size have such a massive impact on how a room feels? Think about this for a second. When you look at a well-designed room in a magazine or on Pinterest, what's one thing you'll notice without even realizing it? The furniture feels connected. The layout feels intentional. There's a sense of cohesion, almost like everything belongs together. Now compare that to a room where the rug is too small. Suddenly, the coffee table is sitting awkwardly on a tiny island of fabric. The sofa legs are completely off. The chairs feel disconnected. It's subtle, but it creates visual tension. And your brain picks up on that instantly. So what's actually happening here? Why does a small rug make a room feel so disjointed? It comes down to something designers call visual anchoring. Your brain is constantly trying to organize what it sees into groups. It wants to understand which pieces belong together. A properly sized rug acts like a frame on the floor. It tells your brain, this is one complete area. But when the rug is too small, that frame disappears. The furniture loses its relationship to each other. And instead of one cohesive space, your brain sees a collection of separate pieces. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Most people don't intentionally choose a rug that's too small. In fact, they usually think they're doing the right thing. Because there's a very common belief that a rug should sit neatly under the coffee table, or just in the center of the room. It feels safe. It feels controlled. But what if that instinct is exactly what's working against you? Let me ask you this. Have you ever stood in a store, looked at a large rug, and thought, that might be too big for my space? That hesitation right there is where the mistake begins. Because in reality, most people underestimate how much space a rug should cover. Designers often say that when in doubt, you should go bigger. Not slightly bigger, significantly bigger. But why does bigger work so much better? It comes down to proportions. In most American living rooms, furniture is already fairly large sectionals. Wide sofas, accent chairs, coffee tables. When you place a small rug underneath all of that, it visually shrinks the foundation of the room. It's like putting a king-size bed on a twin mattress. Something just doesn't add up. But when the rug is large enough to extend under at least the front legs of your furniture, or even all the legs, it suddenly creates balance. The room feels stable, grounded, intentional. And here's something that surprises a lot of people. A larger rug can actually make your room feel bigger, not smaller. That sounds counterintuitive, right? Most people assume that a big rug will overwhelm the space. But in reality, a small rug breaks up the floor visually, making the room feel choppy and confined. A larger rug creates one continuous zone, which makes the space feel more open and expansive. So the question becomes, if bigger rugs make rooms feel larger and more cohesive, why do so many people still default to smaller ones? Part of it comes down to cost. Larger rugs are more expensive, and it's tempting to size down to save money. But here's the trade-off most people don't consider. A rug that's too small doesn't just sit there quietly. It actively pulls down the entire look of your room. It can make expensive furniture look cheaper. It can make a well-decorated space feel unfinished. So you end up saving a few $100s on the rug, but losing the overall impact of everything else in the room. And when you look at it that way, is it really saving money? There's also a psychological factor at play. Smaller rugs feel easier to commit to. They feel less risky. But designing a space isn't about playing it safe. It's about creating balance. And balance often requires going slightly beyond what feels comfortable at first. So if your instinct says, this rug might be too big, there's a good chance it's actually the right size. Now let's make this practical. Because once you understand the concept, the next question is, how do you actually choose the right size for your space? And this is where most people either get it right instantly or completely miss the mark. Take a standard living room, for example. If your rug is only large enough to fit under your coffee table, it's almost always too small. At a minimum, your rug should extend under the front legs of your sofa and chairs. This creates a visual connection between all the seating pieces. But if you really want that high-end, designer look, the rug should be large enough to fit all the furniture legs on top of it. This creates a fully anchored seating area that feels intentional and cohesive. But what about smaller spaces? What if your living room isn't huge? Does the same rules still apply? This is where it gets interesting, because even in smaller rooms, the principle doesn't change. The rug should still define the entire seating area. The difference is that your furniture arrangement will naturally be tighter, so the rug doesn't need to be massive, but it still needs to connect everything. And then there's the dining room, which is where rug mistakes become even more obvious. Have you ever seen a dining table where the chairs slide halfway off the rug when you pull them out? That's one of the clearest signs of a rug that's too small. So here's a simple rule. Your rug should extend at least 24 inches beyond the edges of your dining table on all sides. That way, when someone pulls out a chair, it stays fully on the rug. It feels stable, comfortable, intentional. But if the rug is too small, every movement becomes awkward. And your guests might not know why, it just feels off. Now here's a question most people don't think to ask. What about bedrooms? Does rug size matter there in the same way? Because this is where a lot of people either overcomplicate things or miss an easy opportunity to elevate the entire room. And the answer might surprise you. But the way you place a rug in a bedroom can completely change how the space feels the moment you walk in. So let's go back to that bedroom question for a second. Because this is where people either get a surprisingly high-end look, unintentionally make the room feel smaller and less comfortable without realizing why. Have you ever stepped out of bed in the morning and your feet land on a cold, bare floor instead of something soft? That alone tells you something is off. But it's not just about comfort, it's about layout. In most bedrooms, the rug isn't just decorative, it's functional. It should extend beyond the bed enough to create a soft landing on both sides and at the foot. But what most people do instead is place a small rug at the foot of the bed or two tiny rugs on each side. It feels like it should work, but visually, it breaks the space apart. So what's the better approach? In most cases, a large rug placed under the bed extending at least 18 to 24 inches on each side creates a much more cohesive look. It frames the bed, which is the largest piece in the room, and makes everything feel anchored. And here's something subtle but powerful when the rug is large enough. It makes the bed feel more substantial, more intentional, almost like it belongs there in a way that smaller rugs just can't achieve. But what if you already have a rug and you're realizing it's too small? Do you have to replace it completely? Not necessarily. And this is where things get interesting, because there are ways to work around a smaller rug without throwing it out immediately. One option is layering. You can place a larger, neutral base rug, like a jute or flat weave, and then layer your smaller rug on top. This not only fixes the size issue, but actually adds depth and texture to the room. Another approach is repositioning. Sometimes a rug that feels too small in one layout can work perfectly in another area, like moving it from a living room into a bedroom or office where the scale makes more sense. But here's the deeper question. Why does this mistake happen so consistently? Why do so many people across different homes, budgets and styles end up choosing rugs that are too small? It often comes down to how we shop. Most people buy rugs the same way they buy decor. They look at the rug itself, not the space it's going into. They focus on the pattern, the color, the texture, and those things matter. But without the right size, none of those details can do their job properly. It's like choosing the perfect picture frame, but getting the wrong dimensions. It just won't work, no matter how good it looks on its own. And there's another subtle factor: showrooms and online photos can be misleading. Rugs are often staged in ways that make them look larger than they actually are. Or they're photographed in smaller spaces where the proportions feel different. So when you bring that same rug into your home, it suddenly feels underwhelming. Not because it's a bad rug, but because it's the wrong scale. So how do you avoid this mistake moving forward? It starts with a simple shift in thinking. Instead of asking, do I like this rug? You ask, does this rug fit my space? And that means measuring before you buy anything. Not guessing, not estimating. Actually measuring your seating area, your dining table, or your bed layout. And here's a practical trick that designers use all the time before buying a rug. Map it out on your floor using painter's tape. Outline the exact dimensions you're considering. Then step back and look at it. Walk around it. Sit in the space. Does it connect the furniture? Does it feel balanced? Or does it feel like it's floating in the middle of the room? That one simple step can save you from making the wrong choice. Now here's something most people don't expect once you fix your rug size. You often don't need to change anything else in the room. The sofa suddenly looks better. The layout feels more intentional. Even the decor starts to make more sense. It's like everything was waiting for that one missing piece to fall into place. So let me ask you one more question. What would your room feel like if everything finally looked like it belonged together? Not just nice, not just good enough, but actually cohesive, balanced, and complete. Because for most people, that transformation doesn't require a full redesign. It doesn't require new furniture. It doesn't even require a bigger budget. It just requires correcting one overlooked detail that quietly affects everything else. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. So the next time you walk into your living room, your bedroom, or your dining area, take a second look at your rug. Ask yourself, does it truly anchor the space? Or is it just sitting there, doing less than it should? Because the difference between a room that feels finished and one that feels slightly off is often just a few extra inches of fabric in the right place. And once you get that right, everything else starts to fall into place.